This is Watch Dogs. We're on Xbox Series X taking a look at this original entry in the Watch Dogs series. So what we're getting here is the original Xbox One resolution, which basically means this is running at like 792p exactly, which is so weird. We do have a 30 FPS target that's now smoothly achieved, which, I guess is expected. And we get the benefit of Auto HDR, which I think is the biggest boost for this one in terms of improving the look of the game. So if you're not familiar with Watch Dogs, this is the original entry in the series. You got a main character here. It's a bit of a tragic character. I think one that was honestly a little overlooked in terms of being an interesting lead protagonist. Lost toes to frostbite. I'm gonna hack this guy. I don't want to do an online hacking thing. Anyways, yeah, so what you did in this game is it's kind of a game where it's an open world, you're dealing with Cetos, and you're kind of hacking, you're manipulating the environment, you're causing problems, you're causing explosions, you're doing all stuff. That got really hazy and pixely there. Jeez, that looked rough. Anyways, you're exploring the environment, you're doing all these different things, and you're causing issues for the establishment as you go about battling away. Now, there's a number of different enemies, and there's different things you have to battle, and it's kind of a very interesting, distinct title. Let's hack this guy too. New city hotspot, that's exciting. So anyways, I got a little distracted there. I wasn't sure what exactly was going on with the, the car sounds, but yeah, it's kind of a neat open world game where you're able to explore a number of different places, do all these different missions, work through objectives, lots of side stuff to do. Your very typical sort of Ubisoft title. And it's just kind of the early start for a series that ended up with Watch Dogs 2, and then, has most recently had Watch Dogs Legion release. And yeah, it's kind of neat. But I think this one was really cool because you could interact with so many things, and I don't even think the later, kind of entries in the Watch Dogs series have so much, weird things you can do, which is kind of fun. It's just a very different sort of experience is what I'm trying to get across, and I thought it was pretty well done. I like the story, I like the characters, I like kind of what it presents, and then there's some kinds of online features, I guess you could say. I had a guide for doing co-op in it, and the co-op really isn't anything at all, but yeah, it was definitely a unique game for its time. And I guess the big thing for this one was that it didn't really hit the initial trailer expectations for what this game was supposed to be like, and I guess that's pretty fair to say. Is that oh, it's a motorcycle. Should we try that? Yeah, sure. So it's just kind of an interesting open world. I don't know if there's necessarily a lot to do since the game is finished, but I did think that the story was, engaging enough and offered different things you could do and different objectives, and then you got different weapons and stuff. It was kind of neat, and then you can obviously be this terrible person and cause problems, but the gist of it is you're supposed to be a good guy. When you're trying to deal with these really intense traumatic issues, and there's all this hacking and stuff, and yeah, there's a lot of popping, as you can see in the environment, with things appearing. That's definitely an issue with this one, but yeah, it still kind of looks lovely. It definitely seems pretty dated, and it's kind of amazing, I guess you could say, just seeing how far we've come visually, right to the end of the generation. Not necessarily saying this one having it, but, you look at Watch Dogs Legion, not on Xbox One, but Series X, actually giving the ray tracing and, these beautiful visuals. It's just kind of, I don't know, it's sort of fascinating seeing the progression from the beginning of the gen all the way to the end of it. It's just kind of neat. Can we actually swim up here? Or can we actually climb up on this thing? Oh, there we go. Alright, just trying to... don't really want to get off onto this dock here. Here, let me adjust my boat. I'm only a maniac trying to Learned how to ride. Okay, there we go. Nice. I don't know. It was definitely a different sort of experience. There's a nice sense of scale and atmosphere to this place, which is kind of cool. And just like the humble beginnings of a little series that's had interesting releases. That's the big thing. You know, it's had a lot of unique moments throughout its few game experience. Horsey ride. I don't know. It's just kind of funny hacking things and, you know, I don't know if I really want to use a lure. Let's throw that there. And kind of, you know, interacting and hacking stuff. And then it was always fun to read about all the little things that were going on in people's lives. I always thought that was a little entertaining. Oh, my bad. And then you got your smartphone, you know, you got your skill tree, you got your different online contracts, and then car on demand, digital trips. So you got lots of different things you could do, different missions you can jump into. And it's fairly expansive, and I think pretty easy to get around in is the big thing. I don't know if you've noticed that, but we've literally, you know, traveled from like one end of the city over here. I think we were here to start, so we're along there. And then we've ended up all the way over here, so it's kind of fun that you can travel around and really get this sense of scope and scale in this title, and I think that's kind of fun too. Definitely a different sort of thing, and I wish I had more specific missions to do, but I mean, I've finished it, right? And then you look at the crowd density, and it's like it's decent, right? They were pretty bold with their crowds. Like obviously, I think it's a lot more dense nowadays. At least I think so in the later Watchdog titles. But you know, you look at like Unity. I think it was around this time, and it's just funny seeing, you know, how they were trying to get more and more density, and then it was like, okay, maybe not yet, and yeah. Definitely fascinating. But anyways, it's just kind of like this large-scale playground of, you know, destruction and mayhem and doing all this weird hacking. Using lifts, completing missions. Had some interesting, like, gunfight type scenarios. I just wish we had some, like, combative things to do really right now. Doesn't seem like we really have any specific goals that I could do to fight people. Except for cause issues.
Hey, nice day, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
See ya.
And then our super not... Did that lady just run right through the... They're going right through the kitchen area of the shop. I guess it doesn't matter. Anyone can go here. It's a weird design. Whatever. Doesn't matter. I'm not judging. Maybe this is like a futuristic design. A fire. An explosion. Who caused that? Oh no. Chicago First News. Yeah, it's just absolutely fascinating to be back into this title, because I didn't really think I'd have a reason to come back and explore it ever. This is the big thing. It was just kind of something that existed, I worked through it, and then I moved on. But I always thought that there was more potential for what they could do here. I guess there were extra missions. I'm not sure if I did need the DLC content in this one, but yeah, it's kind of just a really unique experience that I think if you're coming in here... Oh, wow, that looked actually really cool, that destruction there. Holy. I think if you're coming in here, you know, to try to maybe work through the story, you might find it a lot smoother of a time. You actually might find the story kind of interesting, especially since they're connecting it in Watch Dogs Legion, which is kind of cool. We're going to see Aiden Pearce kind of get his... next step of his story, I guess you could say. So that's kind of exciting, because, you know, it's neat Watch Dogs. It really is quite a fascinating franchise, just in terms of its releases over the generation and how it's changed. And, you know, the type of story I think is kind of fun too, right? You could do all these interesting things with it across the world, as you see different cultures deal with, you know, the different technology hacking, the integration of the CTOS, the operating system, and how that changes their ways of living. And I think that's kind of fascinating to me. I gotta give it to them, you know, like the destruction and the smashing of things feels pretty epic. It definitely did when you're doing like chase sequences and stuff. I remember that being a nice thing of this, and you like someone's chasing you, just like whoop, and you know, it pops up and smashes them. So many cool landmarks. Yeah, you know, they did a pretty good job with the sense of scale in this world. And, you know, obviously, things didn't necessarily perfectly come to fruition for what they wanted with the game. But I still think it's kind of a fun time, especially if you're working through particular missions. I want this car. I think this car is fast. But I don't really want to destroy this car. There we go. Hello, sir. I want your vehicle. Thank you. Anyways, lots of different locations, lots of different characters to kind of mess with, and an engaging narrative, different activities to take part in, and yeah, we're not really just showing off the best of the combat though, because we don't really have anything specifically going on here. A scan has been initiated. Maybe we should actually just stay in the zone and see what kind of mayhem we can cause here. I guess we could, like, hide the car. Oh yeah, the hiding the car feature. Yeah, you know, they did actually drop a lot of features from, you know, in this and later Watch Dogs games. That's kind of interesting to think about. The cops are coming. Yeah, we're gonna have some action here. I think we're also moving towards, oh yeah, this is like a campus here, it looks like. That's kind of cool. Oh, I thought I was a little bit more ahead of these guys. It's fun to do the blocker and to cause problems and, you know, the traffic lights. Whoa! The cops are definitely here to cause some issues for me. They do not like my hacking. Yeah, you know, we had some engaging cop chases and stuff, and yeah, that was way too early. You gotta time it right, you know, in order to do big explosions and cause problems. It's kind of neat. Oh yeah, and they give you the indicator too, and then neutralize that cop car. That was pretty nice. Yeah, I forgot, they give you a little heads up thing and be like, hey, cause issues here, and you'd be like, yeah. Oh, that's a nice car. I should have taken that one instead, maybe. Oh no, the police are coming. Why does my car look miniature compared to that one? Oh wow, that guy got taken right out. You know, there's actually pretty decent, you know, traffic quantity here. I wonder if we're actually going to really get to more realistic numbers when traffic in the next gen when it comes to vehicles and stuff. That's definitely something I'm curious about. I kind of want to conclude moving around in this area though, because I like this spot. It feels tonally different from the city, which is kind of nice. I don't know, it's just got a different vibe to it. Also the creepy graveyard with the sad graveyard scenes, and yeah, it's definitely a different sort of experience, that's for sure. Oh yeah, and the big stadium. His name is Stadium. Yeah, a lot of fun this one. So many different things you can do in it. I do remember enjoying it. I was just like, I remember people really complaining about this one back in the day. But yet at the same time, it's still kind of a cool, neat kind of game. I don't know, I think it's got some interesting moments to it. A neat sense of destruction. Strangely, I don't remember it being so destructive, but yeah, it's actually got some cool effects. And then again, I guess I didn't really care back in the day. Oh, you know what was hilarious? I actually got like a channel strike, I think, from this for live streaming it. So this was back in the day when live streaming was just kicking off on YouTube, and they had horrible copyright systems in place. So I guess music was playing on the radio, and it just, you know, I was like, what? And yeah, it vanished after a while. It was one of those temporary ones, but I'm glad they've reformed that a little bit since then. Yeah, I remember that strictly because that was a big pain for me back then. I guess I wasn't nearly as serious as I am nowadays, but still, it was like really, you know, it wasn't good, right? That's the main thing, is it wasn't, it was problematic. But anyways, I think that about sums up the magic of Watch Dogs, getting an idea of, you know, how it's running and looking. Probably not anything about the story, but then again, I mean, you should go into this freshly if you want to engage with it, get the idea of what this character is, and, you know, the kind of issues he's dealing with across this expansive, interesting location. Definitely had some neat moments to it. Oh, the city, the skyline actually looks kind of nice there. Wow, this car is like a tank. It is just like taking hit after hit, and it just keeps on driving like there's no problem at all. Wow, this was a good idea getting this one. Oh yeah, that one definitely caused some issues. I like how my guy's just like not even phased. It's like, it's nothing, you know. What? Yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed this kind of tour, more or less, of Watch Dogs. Maybe we should get like a cooler gun. Oh, I didn't mean to kill that guy. That's pretty dark. Yeah, I just took some money.
Be advised, a high-powered patrol car has been sent to his location.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be the good guy, right? I just wanted to show off some combat here. Ooh.